Shalom, peace and blessings. This is Sophia of the AmaruKhan Band of Indians, and we're here with a quick video in the midst of my hiccups about this term, issue discount, and I wanted to break it down and real quick, and also show how its authority is based in the Bible. A lot of people believe that this government, the way that it operates, these terms, this system, is a system that is not inherently authorized by the Creator, and therefore cannot be inherently returned to its true authorization. And I don't agree with that. I don't think the system needs to be burned down. I don't think. Only thing I think needs to happen is that people need to come to the conclusion that they are going to be in charge of their own estates, their own accounts, and they're not going to, and they're going to be willing to learn how to do this, and they're going to be willing to help their friends and family do this. This is the real Underground Railroad, where the children need to be gathered and walked together to try to catch up to the train that has already left the station. The train being the righteousness, the train being our brother Yeshua, has already left. Now, I'm going to do another video about this, but I'm going to do a whole video about this statement that I'm going to make, but I'll just make the statement now. I do believe that we are witnessing the return of the Father. And if you know anything about my tarot spiral, the father and the daughter are together. The king and the page, who is really the princess, they are together in the same slice. So I do believe we are in the return of the Father. And therefore our words have even more power than they ordinarily would. So anyway, I'm going to do a whole video on that at some other time. But this video is about the term original issue discount. Original issue discount. Now, if you are in any of my study groups, free study groups, link is in the bio. We are talking about contracts, and in our family banking group, I explain to people that as they look over these contracts and to start to get an understanding, they have to go and look up every word, even words they think that they know, even words that they assume mean X, Y, and Z. They have to look them up. So there's a phrase, people would be familiar with it. It's called original issue discount. This is a particular form that has gotten a lot of people in trouble being used because it was not being used in the proper context. And people want to rush the context instead of doing the research. They want a quick fix. There are no quick fixes. It's just like with diet. This is a lifestyle change. And I do apologize for my hiccups, because who knows why I'm getting hiccups this early in the morning. I haven't been up that long, but this is what it is. So let's look at this term. And if you haven't heard this term, more than likely after I finish this video, you will go and look up this form. And you'll get a lot of false information about it. I don't recommend people use this form until they have the proper context, which we'll get to when we get to that point. But I just wanted to point out what these words mean, and how the governmental system is literally your perspective. If you believe that it's an evil, wicked system that has to be destroyed, it is an evil, wicked system that will have to be destroyed for you. But like I have been saying, I have consistently said for 2 years that I've been making videos on this channel, the government is not bad. It's the people who are operating it without honor. But those people can be removed, and people who have honor can replace them. There are some people whose entire destiny is to be lawyers, judges, government workers, and all of that. This is what they contracted to do. So we should not be looking our nose down at those people, because that's what their job is. Their job is to sacrifice their inheritance to help the people get what they need. And until you come to that conclusion on your own, you'll never get no reparations or no nothing, because who needs reparations when you got billions of dollars attached to your name? You just have to be in the proper authority. And this authority, I'll explain a little bit while we talk about this term. All right, so let's look at the word original. Original means present or existing from the beginning, first or earliest. And the sample they use is the original owner of the house. The plasterwork is probably original. So this is like the very first owner. There was no one before this person. There was no one there before that person. We know this by a very famous phrase in the Bible, in the beginning. And so only the people who were there in the beginning have the capability of being original. Okay. I use the term aboriginal too. The next word is issue, and the definition we're going to focus on is definition 4, right? And definition 4 is the action of flowing or coming out, the point of issue and issue of blood. Another biblical reference. How ironic. This last word is a little bit more difficult. Let me start with this definition. We have discount when it's used as a verb, which is a verb is something that describes something. A noun that's something it just is. But as a verb, this word means to leave out. I'm somewhere in the middle. It means to abate or deduct, to leave out of account or disregard. Commercial sense of make a deduction from, put a reduced price upon. Actually, I did have this in the word first in the correct order. As a noun or as a verb, it means abate. We're going to look at that term abate, okay? Commercial meaning, deduction. Oh, this is the same one. No, it's different. It means the same thing as a noun or a verb, okay? Let's look at the word abate. I said this is going to be a quick video because I got to get moving. All right, the word abate, because I use the word abate in discount. Reckon as an abatement or destruction. Abatement literally means abate. That's discount. And this term abate, to cause to become smaller or less, that's with an object, without an object, to lessen, reduce, or remove. This action would not be sufficient to abate the odor nuisance, right? Or to beat. Become less intense or widespread. The storm suddenly abated. Okay, so if we look at this term, this word, original, issue, discount. Original means at the beginning. Issue is to remove. Make sure I'm saying this right. The issue is to flow or come out. In the beginning, flowing or coming out. To lessen or reduce or remove. In the beginning, flowing or coming out to lessen, reduce, or remove something. In the beginning, flowing and coming out to lessen, reduce, or remove something. This is what original, issue, discount means. Let's go in Genesis. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, remove, and the darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then, discount, then God said, let there be light. And there was light. Okay, and there was light. This is the part that's left out. That's because it's in the beginning. The beginning of this phrase, original, issue, discount, is 1099. So, in the beginning, it says here, The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. That's issue. That's the issue. And the discount was, then God said, or abatement was, let there be light. And the darkness was lessened. It means to, the darkness lessened or removed, the light, lessened or removed the darkness. In the beginning, the issue and the removal of the darkness. The removal. And there was light. And there was the 1099. Let's give you another example of the scripture. Now this is only verses 49 and 50. This is John chapter 12. I'm going to read from, I didn't highlight the whole thing because it wouldn't fit. I'm going to read from from verse 44. So this is John chapter 12, verse 44. I'm actually reading this out of my Orthodox Study Bible, okay? Then Jesus cried out and said, he who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And he who sees me sees him who sent me. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me should not abide in darkness. And if anyone hears my words and does not believe, I do not judge him, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken on my own authority, but of the Father who sent me, gave me a command, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his command, it is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, just as the Father has told me, so I speak. Focusing on 49 and 50. For I have not spoken on my own authority, but the Father who sent me gave me a command, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his command is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, just as the Father has told me, so I speak. What you have Jesus saying here is original issue discount, where he speaks light. This is in the King James. This section is titled "Be the Light." It's titled something else in the Orthodox, and I'm not gonna. It's not relevant to the point I'm trying to make. Jesus basically is saying he is speaking light into darkness. He is speaking light into darkness. And whenever he speaks, he is speaking not of his own command, but of the one who sent him, i.e., the Father. And that is the point of the original issue discount. It is to speak light into darkness. It is to speak flowing out of light into the darkness. It is literal. It's a literal thing. And so when you use that form, the original issue discount form, you are speaking your light into the darkness. And people should be able to understand that. Now, let me go back to the title script. What the document is for and why people get in trouble is because it is used if you have done a 1099A and it's or 1099C without the 1099 OID, you did not speak the light into the darkness. What you did was you defined the darkness, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, because in the beginning, he spends a lot of, I mean, that's the whole first two lines of that is God, whoever wrote it, describing what the darkness looked like, the void, the face of the deep. This is what the darkness looked like. So you have to describe the dark. There's no way of getting out of describing the darkness. That is a 1099 A and or C. Well, the A is describing the darkness and accepting that there is darkness. The 1099C is forgiving the darkness for being dark. Okay, that's what the C is. But if you haven't done the OID for the 1099 A and C, you have not actually flowed out the original, in the beginning, flowing out to lessen or reduce has not been done. The original flowing out to lessen or reduce is in the OID form, original issue discount of the 1099. So ideally, these documents will go together. I mean, it's in the Bible. I just literally read that's what the term original issue discount, and that's in the beginning. There was darkness, the A and C. The darkness was described. The darkness was not judged. It was described, because what did Jesus say? You're going to be judged on your words, and the darkness don't have words. There's no words that the darkness could speak. This is a process that you have to initiate. It's not going to happen on its own. You have to initiate the process, but you have to have in your mind how the process works as you're looking at these documents. The other people, the other gurus or whatever related to this, they don't go into this detail. Don't wear that.
Okay.
Oh, you can. It's fine. The other gurus who talk about this are never going to put it back to Genesis. But literally, I was reading the definitions and I was like, oh, Genesis. Oh, light. I remember Jesus talking about that. I was able to pick these things up immediately. And so it does you a huge disservice, as I have said and will continue to say, to not be familiar with the Bible. And that means if you're not making sure that your children are familiar with the Bible, you're also doing them a huge disservice, because they'll never be able to pull out this information if they don't have some sort of religious background. I'm sure this is the same in other texts. I just happen to know the Bible. That's my background. That's my heritage. Is the Bible, and that's what I know. And so if you're of other heritages, I'm sure you can find other places where this is. Just happens to be perfectly summed up in the beginning of the Bible. So in the beginning, the issue, or to flow out, to lessen of whatever, the discount, the abatement. So look, I keep forgetting the part. So from the beginning, to flow out and to lessen or reduce. From the beginning, to flow out, to lessen or reduce. From the beginning, to flow out, to lessen or reduce. So if you're trying to lessen or reduce your stress level, from the beginning, something has to flow out to lessen or reduce it. And so if you don't handle the problem from the beginning, this is why shadow work is important. Then if you don't give your story a happy ending, if you don't give the story, this is another video that's coming. If you don't give the story a happy ending, there's no way from the beginning to lessen or reduce can flow out, because the end has to be known from the beginning. And if you take the terrible end instead of the good end, how can you lessen or reduce and have that flow out? You're only going to have what flow out, what is there from the beginning. So by not doing the shadow work, by not putting happy endings on your stories, by not doing what needs to be done, getting rid of what needs to be getting rid of, following the spirit, listen to your gut instinct, stop listening to all these outside spirits who don't know what they're talking about, because you are the original. You are in the beginning. That's the whole point. In order to be in the beginning, it has to be a living thing. You are the only living thing. All these other things are not living. They're on the other side. They don't live. That's the whole thing. The creator is a living creator. He's not dead, and he's returning. So, because the daughters have cried out for power to be returned to us. And so, in order for us to be restored, the Creator has to return. That's just the way it works. And this is what they really never wanted people to know, but that's going to be in another video. So I hope this helps you understand. Please look up the words, look up the etymology. If the definition doesn't seem specific enough, you'll find clues in the etymology. All of this was done by Google search. You could surely do that. So shalom, peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.